All right, welcome back to Finstuct. This is the second portion of our video on building a three-statement model, financial model. So in this video, we're going to be building revenue drivers in a three-statement model. Um, in the last video, we structured a blank three-statement model, focusing on assumptions and layout. In this video, we'll start actually building out the revenue section, turning assumptions into dynamic calculations that flow into the income statement. Okay, so as I said before, I always start with key revenue drivers. For this example, we're going to be using product sales growth and services sales growth. These inputs, they go in the assumption section separate from the income statement. That way we can adjust them easily later for scenario analysis. All right, let's get to work. So we have, we have a timeline here. Oh, what was this before? Oh, we gotta delete this. No, we haven't put anything in there yet. So, okay, this is our timeline. So, quick update for you. What we want to do, okay, we'll do this later on, or should we do it now? Let me do it now. Let's just try to fix um the size of the cells. So I just used a shortcut. I did it rapidly, so now I'm going to do it a little bit slower so you can see. As you can see here, we have this text here going borderline. It's not kept within its exclusive cell. And column C, we have the year timeline. So here we want to make everything fit within the same column. So I did it for this here. The way to do it here, we're gonna be using our short keys. It's gonna be Alt. When we press Alt, it shows like different shortcuts. H. Okay, so we did H. That's for home. We're gonna be pressing O on the keyboard, so that's gonna format the cell. And we're gonna be pressing I, so that's gonna make the text fit within the column width. So I. That way you don't have to use a mouse. You don't have to drag the cell dimensions, column dimensions, sorry. You don't have to use anything manually, just use the shortcuts. So back to our exercise. So we're going to be putting in the numbers for key drivers. Again, column C, that's going to be the beginning of our timeline. So let's go. So our product sales growth rate, that's going to be calculated values. Well, the way we do this is, well, we format everything according to percentages, so that way we don't have calculation mistakes. And here we're going to be using another shortcut, keyboard shortcut. Okay, so this is going to be the range of our assumptions. So within this area here, we're going to be putting in the numbers. They're going to be percentages. So to put the percentage in, we're going to do the same shortcuts, Alt, H, P. That's it. Now we have this whole area structured for percentages. Now let's get to work. So this is gonna be 0%, got 0%. For previous years, it's something like 63.72% calculated. It's minus 6.98. Notice just how Excel like automatically rounds up the numbers, but we're gonna be doing a little trick later on. You'll see the magic of Excel right there. So there's gonna be 6 point. Okay, so we don't have previous numbers for this. Tax rate for this year was, again, these are historical numbers. We're going to be color coding them later on. Right now, let's just put numbers in. Okay, so this is going to be the interesting part. These numbers here, they are like historical numbers. Now we're going to be projecting. Our projections or projected numbers, they come from well-detailed market research and industry research. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to be assuming and pretend that this had already been done. So we're just gonna forward numbers here that we've already chosen randomly. So they're gonna be close to the historical numbers, but a little bit more optimistic because we can see we got a lot of negatives here. All right, let's go. Sorry, right there. We're gonna do this automatically. So we're gonna be assuming that interest expense or interest income, which is going to be a portion of long-term debt, it's going to be remaining around the 2% mark for the 5 upcoming years. We did not have it like for 2022, 2023, 2024. There are historical data, so they're available. But since we haven't gone to the balance sheet portion yet to calculate from the long portion of long-term debt, we just assume we just leave it blank. Anyway, we're gonna have the historical data in the balance sheet, so it's cool for now. But for the projections, we're gonna keep it around the mark of 2%. Let's go. And also tax rates are gonna remain around 21%, which is I think the average in the United States. But this is how we're gonna be structuring our numbers for now. So let's keep on going. So there's a next excellent feature in Excel. So we will have our tax rate and also our income expense, or I mean interest income or interest expense, remain around the mark of 2% and 21% respectively. So what we could do, we don't need to go and manually type in everything. So we select let's select these numbers right here. So we press shift down arrow, and our projection is going to be through the year 2020, which is in column K. And now we're going to press Control R. And this is going to put in the numbers automatically for us. No need to type in anything. They're automatic. You just populated these cells. Now let's keep on going because other numbers, they're not going to remain as stable. Okay, so, no, sorry. We're going to project this rate. This right here. right here, and right here. This is very optimistic, by the way. All right, I think there's a mistake here. I haven't put my hand on it. So what we're gonna do, I think we have repetitive numbers at some point. So before we correct anything, let's just go with the shortcuts. Because we had like two numbers after the decimal point, and here we got whole numbers. So what we do is to bring it to the original format, Alt H, but this time we're not going to be using P for percentages. We're going to be using 0. Moves it back one digit. We'll do it again. And here we are. So we actually had some mistakes here. All right. Yeah, we got some columns that need to be corrected. So right here, yeah, we need to correct this column right here. That's not how it goes. Okay. All right, let's try. Okay, so this is working. Great, 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 great. Not so great. Yeah, we got a mistake here. So what we could do, we could try to type everything back. So see how easy it is to make mistakes when building financial models. This is what you need to avoid. Okay. Yeah, that's a problem right there. We got numbers repeating themselves twice, and this is why we need to delineate um, historical data from projections. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. So yeah, this is not right. No. No, we're making mistakes here. So All right, I think we're done here. So we're gonna put a line to separate historic data from projections in the assumptions tab. Again, we're gonna be using our shortcuts. Okay, should be, yeah, it's R. Yeah, we got it right here, delineated. So that way we don't get any more confused. Okay, so we just built like our main drivers for our income statement assumptions. So yeah, now in most models you have multiple product lines or services. So I try to replicate the same formula logic for each line here, keeping it consistent. So you're going to see that consistency makes the model easy to scale without errors. All right, so before moving on, I always do a quick check. For example, all right, okay. Okay, so that's how I build the income statement assumptions. So right now we're going to be really start building the revenue portion of the income statement. Let's start here now. All right, let's get it working. So we got our timeline. So we want to put in income statement. This is going to be the income statement portion. And as I said, most companies they have multiple products and line services. So I'm going to try to replicate the same formula logic for each line to keep a consistency we talked about. So this is going to be net sales. Oh, you could call it net revenue. We got products and we got services. And this is going to be the total sales. Total net sales, sorry. All right. Again, we want to put a border against historic and projections. So Alt HBR. Okay. So let's put in the historical numbers. They're going to be in the millions. So this is, and we also, I'm sorry, we want to format these for money. Alt HAN. All right. Now let's go. So for 2022, we had 300. Okay. All right. We had 298. Again, this is available data. No magic here.